All right, let's talk about the Viking warrior Bjorn Ironside. But, this isn't really a story about battles and conquests. We're diving into something way heavier than any axe or shield could ever be. The weight of a legendary name.
And this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? I mean, most of us can probably imagine having a successful parent, right? But what happens when your dad is Ragnar Lothbrok, a guy who's so famous he's basically become a myth?
So, that's the big question, isn't it? How do you escape a shadow that big? That's the real conflict we're digging into today. It's this deep psychological struggle of a guy who was born into greatness and then had to spend his entire life trying to live up to this impossible legacy, or somehow find a way to step out from under it.
Okay, so to really get what Bjorn was up against, we have to first wrap our heads around the massive figure he was born from. His father, Ragnar, he wasn't just some king, he was an icon, a force of nature, a legend in his own time.
And this comparison here really lays it all out. It's just perfect. On one side, you've got Ragnar, the myth, an epic, almost unknowable force. And then over here, there's Bjorn, the son, a real man of history, stuck carrying this heavy inherited burden. You see, he wasn't just following in his father's footsteps, he was literally trapped inside his father's unconquerable shadow.
And you can imagine how that pressure just builds and builds, because the heaviest crown Bjorn ever wore was the one nobody could even see. This wasn't a battle fought with swords and shields. No, this was a constant, grinding, internal war.
Just try to imagine that kind of pressure for a second. The whole world is watching, every single ally, every enemy, even his own people. They're all watching his every move, and they're constantly comparing. Every choice he makes isn't judged on its own merit, but against this phantom of his father.
And here's the kicker. The expectation wasn't just for him to be as good as Ragnar. That would have been hard enough, right? No way. The unspoken demand was that he had to be better. He was expected to actually surpass a myth. How on earth is anyone supposed to do that?
So yeah, his father's ghost was just always there. Every victory Bjorn ever had, every single setback he faced, it was instantly measured against the legend of Ragnar. That's the kind of comparison that could honestly break anyone.
So what did he do? Faced with all this suffocating pressure, did he just crumble? Nope. He did something way more interesting. He didn't just try to copy Ragnar. He made a real, strategic effort to be different. And this really shows you it was a conscious plan. He wasn't just reacting to things. Step 1, he brought his own unique strategies to the battlefield. Step 2, he developed a leadership style that was totally different from Ragnar's. And Step 3, all of this was part of a bigger mission, really to redefine his own destiny and just break free from the path everyone else assumed he'd take.
But carving your own path, when you're the son of a living legend, well, that comes at a seriously high price. This relentless drive to make his own name, to build his own legacy, it would have demanded some incredible personal sacrifices.
Think about it. In this constant need to prove himself, to build a name that could stand on its own 2 feet, he basically had to give up on simple personal happiness. Contentment? That's a luxury you just can't afford when you're at war with a ghost.
And this makes us ask a really tough question. When we look back at these giants of history, we see the glory, right? The conquest, the legendary name. But was it really worth the human cost? Was the legend of Bjorn Ironside worth the happiness of the actual man, Bjorn?
Seriously, think about it. That constant need to prove himself, to be seen as worthy, it likely created this deep, profound sense of isolation. How can you form real, genuine connections with people when you feel like you're always performing, always trying to live up to some impossible standard? And you just know that behind that stoic warrior exterior, his name is literally Ironside, he must have had these moments of just profound exhaustion and self-doubt. The source material really points to a key truth here. Even legends feel the weight of the world on their shoulders. So, okay, after all of this, after the struggle, the internal war, this relentless drive, did he actually pull it off? Did Bjorn Ironside manage to create a legacy that was truly his own? Let's take a look at the final verdict. This right here really redefines what legacy even means in Bjorn's case. It wasn't some gift that was just handed down from his father. For him, a legacy was something he had to forge in fire, through incredible pressure, huge sacrifice, and this unbreakable will to define himself on his own terms. And at the end of the day, yeah, he absolutely succeeded. He achieved legendary status, but he did it his way.
He became a symbol for that timeless struggle we all face against expectations. His story proves that even the biggest shadow can be escaped, which turns his life from just a Viking saga into this universal human drama that still hits home today. And that's really the final thought we want to leave you with. Bjorn's ancient struggle brings up this timeless question that, we all face in our own lives in our own ways. What is the true weight of the legacies we inherit? And what are we willing to sacrifice to forge one of our own?